What is up, everybody? This is the Chick coming at you with another Diablo 4 build guide. Today we're going to be talking about what is probably one of the fastest and most fun builds I think I've ever played. It's been in and out over the seasons. It's been better, it's been worse, but right now I think it is the best time you could ever play it, and I am talking about the Shred Druid. I'm going to show you guys a pit 80, which is going to take basically zero time at all. And then we're going to talk about all of the gear, all of everything you need to do. All right, and you literally only just have to hold down one button and you go. So you can see we're just teleporting around like mad, and it's kind of hard to keep up with sometimes. Very very much controller friendly, pretty easy to play. You keep up your Grizzly Rage, and you keep up your. That's it. Right. All I'm doing right now for the gameplay, I'm holding down Howl and I'm holding down Shred, and you kind of just move your cursor or your joystick in the direction of the mobs, and then you try to keep up with what's going on. The only problem I have with this build is when you're doing content where items drop behind you, maybe you're farming for drops out in the Helltide, maybe you're trying to farm your seasonal currency, whatever you might be doing there. It's a little hard to keep up with because by the time the items drop on the ground, you're already gonna be screens away. You're probably not gonna see it drop. But as far as deleting bosses, pit pushing, rune leveling, any of those activities where you don't really have to pay attention to what's dropping on the ground as you're running around, it's probably one of the fastest and most fun builds in the game. As you can see here, we're literally just zooming around as fast as possible. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with, not gonna lie to you. The hardest part about this is trying to keep up with everything on your screen and not go crazy trying to figure out where your character is. Saw how fast we just deleted the bot. Anyway, let me show you what we got going on here now that you've seen just how ridiculous the build is. And one of the best things about this build is you can get started just with two aspects right off the rip, so you can level with this and then you can play it all the way through. I've got the build pretty well close to done, so we'll kind of talk about what I've got going on here. So the two things that you need to get started are going to be Unsatiated, which is going to make it every time you critically strike an enemy with Shred, you gain Spirit, so this is going to keep your Spirit up. Blurred Beast is good to have. Rabid Bear, I'm going to talk about all of those things. And then Stormclaw, this one is going to be giving you some AoE damage. Then Dire Wolf, Grizzly Rage's werewolf skill, that's another one that's going to be keeping you going. Alright, so let's start at the top here. I would say Unsatiated and Stormclaws are the two that you need to get started, and those two are really easy to get. So Helm Slot, you can use anything that gives you a multiplier. I'm using Air Perdition because it's the best, giving you increase the core skills. We are using Tam K here, so non-channel core skills. So this is just keeping our Earth and Bulwark up all the time. It's just keeping us safe. You can pretty much zoom around and not worry about anything. Going absolutely ham. It's amazing. Cannot complain. Like I said, anything you got here that give you a multiplier in the meantime is fine. You can use any of the Chaos Armor. You can use any uniques that are going to give you stuff for werewolf things. You can use a defensive item while you're getting rolling. Doesn't really matter. Shroud of False Death, you don't have this. Mad Wolf Squeeze, really easy to get. It's going to give you increases to your werewolf skills. It's going to give you increased critical damage. It's going to help everything that you need while you don't have Shroud of False Death. So also not required, just kind of bumps you up. Moni Zan. Zan, I honestly just recently got. It's just giving you critical strike overpower, which is amazing. Moni, mobility, macabre skills, great. So what I would use here is the Vortex one if you don't have Zan. Or, basically anything. You can use the Warcry one to give you more damage. Just anything you have. But Moni's really great because Shred is tagged as mobility. So got that. Banished Lord's Talisman. You're always spending tons and tons and tons of resources. This is going to make your overpower better, which is going to work well with your Zan rune. The big thing here is it's giving you levels of core skills. Levels of core skills is basically the bread and butter here because it's a big multiplier. It's giving you tons of damage. We're going to go down. This is the one thing you need on your armor. So you have to have this. All right, Dire Wolf. Grizzly Rage is now a werewolf. So if you don't have this, the build won't work this way and you have to use a different ultimate. You can use whatever ultimate you want in the meantime. But once you get the Dire Wolf's pants, or whatever other armor slot you have them in, depending on what your Chaos armor is and what you're building towards. So it's going to give you more movement speed, spirit cost reduction, and heals you whenever you kill an enemy, so you're never going to die once you get this. It's absolutely incredible. I just happen to have this on my pants because of where my other things are, but you need this, period. You can't play the build without it. Malefic Crescent, this is also not required. It's just going to give you more critical damage. It's going to make the build way better. It's normally a necklace, but once you can get it on Chaos Armor, it's absolutely amazing. Big thing here, it's giving you more critical strike damage all the way around. Our Keystone passive, Looping Ferocity, is giving us more damage on critical strikes. This is giving us even more multiplier there. And as you can see, you get the Werewolf critical strike damage on your affix there that rolls on it, which is amazing. You also get the increased movement speed. So this is basically just doing everything that we need all the way around. It also helps fix your resistances because it's a necklace slot, so it's giving you plus 30 to resist all. That's always important. When you're first getting this build put together, I actually just picked this up. Wax and Gibbous is going to be helping you out a whole lot when you're first getting started. Before you get everything situated, it's giving you increased levels of shred, it's giving you increased levels of toxic claw. We don't really care too much about the shred gear stealth, and we'll talk about why in a minute, because it's one of the chaos powers that makes that not even matter, because we have crit chance everywhere. But for the most part, while you're getting started, this is amazing. It also inherently rolls with 50% chance for shred to deal double damage, which is chef's kiss, right? It's awesome. It's freaking phenomenal. So what we're looking at up here, going to move down to the weapon, Blared Beast. Shred deals more damage and has a chance to land an additional strike up to 4 times, which is amazing. You want to temper this for werewolf attack speed and chance for shred to deal double damage. I haven't been able to roll this to get my shred to deal double damage up all the way yet, but there you go. You're going to want it on the dagger because damage to close enemies, you're always up against close enemies, so it's awesome all the time. You can see I used my gems here to fix my armor. Obviously fix what you need to fix there. So Storm Claws, we were talking about this already. Critical strikes with shred deals splash damage as lightning damage to all enemies around. It's just going to help your AoE clear. Until you get this, you're still going to clear super fast. You're just going to hit everything one time. Alright, so obviously Necklace giving you resist all, everything's great. You want to temper this for Grizzly Rage cooldown, which is not absolutely required because you extend it, but that's going to be your best in slot one there. And then you want werewolf attack speed. The higher werewolf attack speed you have, the faster you go, the more fun it is. If you get to the point where you think you're moving too fast, I would recommend maybe moving down some of the werewolf attack speed, but we don't play this for the point of not moving fast. So go ahead and do that. We are using Unsatiated. This is keeping our spirit up, and it's giving us increased damage. When we get our spirit high, 100 we're going to keep our damage multiplier going until we fall below 30 spirit, which very rarely ever happens, if at all. Going to temper this also for werewolf attack speed and grizzly rage cooldown. You're going to get regular attack speed anywhere you can as well, because they go in each of the separate buckets, so you're going to be going absolutely bananas. It's awesome. As you can see, I still don't even have a good version of this one, so this will get even better as I fix my gear. And then we have the Rampaging Werebeast. So this is what's going to make your Grizzly Rage basically last forever. It increases your Grizzly Rage duration flatly, and then your critical strike damage multiplies as you're going around. So every time you get a bonus here, it will go all the way up and give you 100% more critical strike damage, which is absolutely amazing. We love that. Again, we got werewolf attack speed, grizzly rage cooldown, regular attack speed. Move into the offhand down here. You're going to roll per shred to go twice. You can tell mine's still really bad. I still have to fix it, but that's what we got. Cooldown reduction, like I said, you don't particularly need it, but it does help. You can put something else there for cooldown reduction is good, and you're not having any problems keeping up Grizzly Rage, making it absolutely amazing. Rabid Bear, while Grizzly Rage is active, your direct damage is converted to poison damage, so it's going to be doing more damage. You possibly spread radius, you're going to keep radius spreading anyway, but we're going to be poisoning everything with chaos powers anyway. I'll show you that in just a second. You want to use the critical strike damage gems in your weapons. You want to use willpower in one piece of gear, and then fix your armor and resistance over here, and then you're going to use your rune words there. Spirit boons. We're using maximum spirit. This is just helping us keep that multiplier up all the time. You can use these other ones if you need to, but for the most part, you're going to be using maximum spirit. You want to use 2 eagle boons. You want attack speed and critical strike damage while you're gearing up, while you're getting ready. And before you get the chaos power, you can use Scythe Talons to get your critical strike chance up. You can also use Iron Feather to get a little tankier, because 30% life can be a whole lot. You can see here I've already got 57,000 or 54,000, so 30% more of 54,000, I'd be like close to 80, which is pretty insane, right? But for the most part, when you're able to do so, you want to use the attack speed and critical strike damage. Down here in the wolf, you want to use the energized one to keep your energy up. It's really good, really helpful. That's pretty much the only one that's worth using here. In the meantime, until you're getting everything online, you could use the duration of ultimate skills, but for the most part, I would say even in the beginning, stick with Energize, because when you're first getting started, the hardest thing you got to deal with is keeping your energy situated. Down here in the Snake Boom, you're going to use Masochistic. Shape-shifting skills are going to heal you, right? So Lucky Hit Chance, we've got a pretty good amount of Lucky Hit Chance, you can see, or Lucky Hit Chance on Shred is 29%. It's not necessarily the amount of Lucky Hit Chance that we have that's making this good, it's the amount of attack speed we have, right? So we're always going and hitting, and you saw how fast we're attacking. So this is going to be healing you a lot, it's going to help keep you alive. So let's talk about the skills real quick. We're going to put a point in the maul and a point in the enhance maul, we don't care about that. You're going to max out Shred. You can get as many levels of core skills as you can possibly get. If you get the Mad Wolf School Years, it's going to be even higher than mine. This is amazing. So you're getting the Enhanced Shred, increase attack speed, heals you, and then extra dash, right? And then critical strike damage. Then you're going to get Digigrade Gate. You're just going to be zooming all the time. Going to put 1 point in the Heart of the Wild, and then you're going to put 3 points in the Wild Impulses, because it's just going to give you a multiplier on your spirit spending abilities, and Shred is a spirit spending ability. We are going to put points into Cyclone Armor. It's just giving you some damage reduction. You're going to put 3 points into Backlash, increase damage after using a defensive skill. So whenever you're using your Blood Out, that is going to be up all the time, because that is considered a defensive skill. You're going to put 3 points in Ancestral Fortitude, non-physical damage resistance, just a little tankier. Damage reduction after using a defensive skill. Again, we're using Blood Out, defensive skill. We're using this all the time. So it gives you some spirit. We don't really care too much about that. We got all these things keeping our spirit up. It does help out when you're lower. You increase damage until you get out of werewolf form. We're always in werewolf form, right? It's amazing. I'm going to move down here. You can see we don't have any of the companion skills. We do put 1 point into Feral Aptitude. It's going to keep your damage up, and it's going to keep you going, right? Like, this just helps out. It's just a little bit of a bonus. It's not really that big of a deal. Down here, we're putting 1 point in Charged Atmosphere, Lightning Bolt Strike. Don't really care too much about that. We're putting points into Electric Strike. We're doing lightning damage, so it's going to be immobilizing damage. You know, it deals increased damage. It's incredible. And then we've got Bad Omen. So when you deal damage to a vulnerable enemy, Lightning Bolt also hits them, dealing pretty good damage. Right down there, you're going to put 1 point into Neurotoxin, and you're going to put points into Toxic Claws, because Toxic Claws, we're only doing poison damage, so this is just a flat multiplier. And then in Venom, you and your companions do bonus critical strike damage. This is our best passive anyway, so we're just doing increased critical strike damage all the time. It's amazing. Gonna go down here, you're gonna max out Grizzly Rage, become unstoppable, extends the duration, overpowering bosses, extends the duration, all that, unstoppable. Get Fortify. You're basically always fortified in this build as well. Gonna put 3 points into Quick Shift. It's gonna give you increased damage. So before you start going, you can alternate your shred and your maul, your shred and your maul, and your shred and your maul until you get this leveled all the way up. That's going to give you the most amount of multiplicative damage. I'll never do that because I don't push. This is just going to help you out when you're pushing. And then heightened senses on shapeshifting, you get more move speed, bonus persist. So as long as you in either animal form, again, you can pop over and then back. So you're always going to have the increased movement speed and always going to have the increased damage reduction. You just have to do that once at the beginning because you're always going to be in an animal form. And down here, we're doing Lupine Ferocity. Every third werewolf skill critically hits. Don't care about that because we always critically hit. And then the big one here, Werewolf Critical Strikes, deal 315% increased critical strike damage, which is amazing. All right, so Paragon points, as always, I'm not going to tell you what points to put in. We're just going to talk about the boards and the glyphs. Remember, use your Paragon points to fix the gaps in your gear. Fix your resistances, fix your stats, fix anything you need. But starter board, you're going to use Headhunter. It's just going to give you increased damage to elites. It's going to give you increased boosts to your nodes here. It's just going to give you better stats around and flat damage to elites, which is incredible. Your first board here, Lust for Carnage, gives you more energy back and deal increased damage with critical strikes. We're always critting, so this is just always going to help keep everything up. That's the big thing. Most of the things we're doing in this build is to keep our spirit up, so we're not spirit starved. We're using Fang and Claw here. So increased damage while shapeshifted, critical damage, and then increased damage while you're a werewolf. Close enemies give more damage. So it's just all the way around. Everything we're doing there is incredible. Down here we're using Heightened Malice. When a poisoned enemy is nearby, remember we're always poisoning enemies, you deal increased damage for each up to 4, right? So this is always just going to be giving us extra damage. Here we're using Spirit. Getting increased critical strike damage, that's the big one. So we always, you want to put this glyph, and this is a good one too because there's a lot of dex around it, but this is giving you increased critical strike damage per 5 dex round, which is absolutely incredible. As you can see, mine's giving me 335.5%. I'm not real sure I have any dex left that's in range to get there, but it is absolutely amazing. It's going crazy. And then your crits also increase the damage they take by you by 3%, which is awesome. But as you can see, I've got every dex node around that I can get that's within range. This one, unfortunately, isn't in range. But you want to get all the dex you can that's going to give you that multiplier. Absolutely amazing. Next board we got here, we have Inner Beast. After shapeshifting, your spirit costs are reduced if you reach 10 stacks. Now this you can just put back and forth. Remember, you can get this up all the time. So this is just going to make it basically that you have a Ring of Starlit Skies on because it's going to be giving you 45% reduced cost. All right. Now, you only want to get it to 9 stacks because it'll reset and then ultimate skills. So pay attention to your buff bar when you're doing that. I'm going to use Keeper here. You deal increased non-physical damage, which we're doing poison damage, right? Increased damage flat, increased shapeshifting damage, and then a little bit of willpower, so we love that. And then our last board up here, we have Ancestral Guidance. You deal increased damage after you spend 75 spirit. Your ultimate skills deal increased damage per spirit when cast. Well, we're not using one that's damaging, so there's that. And then the last one we're using, Dominate. You're doing increased overpower damage. You can see I have a lot of in here. This is probably where I'm going to start spending the rest of my points. So this is going to be keeping you going absolutely crazy, right? So just look around here, look for your intelligence nodes. Okay, so we can put points over here to get more intelligence. We just want to make sure that we're doing what we can to get as much intelligence here as possible because we want this multiplier to be as big as possible because we're getting 44.7% overpower damage for each 5 int that we have, right? So that's pretty incredible. And then, like I said, Ancestral Guidance, that one's incredible as well. We're going to go over the Mercenaries. I'm using Subo because I like to see where the enemies are. Knowing where the enemies are is a huge plus to me. You could use the ones that give you increased attack speed. You can use the ones that do immobilize. You can use whatever you want. I literally just use Subo to have the map hack. It's amazing, right? Don't really care. But if you're pushing, there are better options. For example, over here is going to give you more damage resistance and everything, all that. Go over the chaos perks. This is what makes this so insane. Firstly, wild transformation. Shapeshifting gives you these bonuses for 5 seconds. Werewolf, Bloodhell grants increased critical strike damage. Always using Bloodhell. Werebear uses debilitating roar, grants 20% damage reduction. So you can use your maul to switch over to Werebear to get back, get that going. And then every time you hop into human form, you're going to get increased attack speed. So whenever you cast your Earth Shield around you, when you cast Earth Shield, it's human skill, right? So you get that attack speed. It's amazing. And then it pops your Cyclone armor. It's crazy. This is the big one right here. Purging infected. Core skills apply 200% of the base damage, poisoning over 4 seconds. So they're going to poison for you. We got all kinds of things to poison. This is going to do it. So dealing direct damage to a poisoned enemy, spends 5 spirit, makes it a crit, and then it deals increased critical damage. Okay, so this is what's making the multipliers go crazy. We're always critting, so we don't have to have crit on any of our gear. This is giving us a multiplier. It's helping us spend our spirit, because every time we directly hit an enemy, it spends 5 more spirits. So it's keeping our overpower up all the time. It's giving us crits all the time. It's keeping everything poisoned. This makes this absolutely insane. It's so much fun. This is probably my favorite chaos power in the game. There's a couple that are close, but this one's probably my favorite. Overabundance here. When you generate 100 spirit over your maximum, increases your damage. It can stack 3 times, but does not refresh. So our spirit, like I said, our big thing here is getting our spirit up. We have this up all the time. It's normally at 3 stacks, depending on how many enemies you have, but this is absolutely amazing. It's going crazy all the time. We love it. Overabundance is great. Yeah, this is why I have so much HP right here. So Brawn Overbrains, increased maximum life, increased healing received, but since we're an overpower build, increased overpower damage. That's the big one right there, all right? So you level this all the way up, you just get multiplier on overpower damage. It's amazing. So it does reduce your maximum resistances and your armor reduction damage, but when you have so much HP, you're getting barriers all the time, you're always fortified, you're always healing, and since all of our heals are percent based and we're at like 50-some thousand HP, we stay topped off, and having a little bit less resistances is not a big deal. Anyway, that's the build, guys. Let me know what you guys want to see next down in the comments. Let me know, kind of trying to get a feel for what format you guys like. If you want the explanation first and then gameplay, or gameplay then explanation. Either way, let me know down in the comments what you think. I'm going to be working on some other stuff. Going to be working on some Last Epoch stuff. Stick around for that. Looking to play some meme builds over there. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.